All right, Home Service Pros, welcome to episode 173 to Battle Plan Marketing Podcast. We have Mr. Kim Hopkins on board again to review his awesome book, Million Dollar Contracting. Kim, welcome back to the show, sir.
Thank you, sir. Nice to be here.
Yeah, so we got broken up by holidays and New Year's and a bunch of stuff happening on mostly on my end. My apologies for the delay. But let's talk about some of the last couple of chapters, and then we'll recap. So, so a big one, everybody's kind of problem is hiring, retaining employees. So let's start with finding them, maybe some of the best avenues to find them, and then how do we hold on to them?
Okay. Let's see. It's hard to find them. Let's just admit it. Like, actually, you can find people all the time. You can go down to Skid Row and find people. But if you want to find a qualified person for the job you're looking for, there's technicians in the field, and there's office workers, and office workers are easier to find for sure, because you can train people to do white collar type work, to be a receptionist or other kinds of work. Yeah, there's some specialized, like if you get large enough, then you're going to need an accountant. That's going to take some skill, bookkeeping and whatnot.
Right.
But in terms of telephone skills, what you're looking for is first honest, ethical people that hopefully are healthy. They don't get sick a lot, and and I have no fixed ideas about males versus females.
Oh,
I'm I'm very clean on it's all about meritocracy in my company. So women, men, uh, different races, sexual orientation, none of it matters to me.
none of it matters.
No, what matters is can they answer the phone, in a proper way, and then can they communicate that they're friendly and competent, and are they friendly and competent? And if they are, that's a good start. And most of the people in my company do answer the phone. I've got two people that do bookkeeping who sometimes answer the phone, and they certainly handle their own phone calls. And then I've got four dispatchers uh, that do. They each have their skill set, but all of them can talk to people on the phone. That's just a. Do you speak English? Good. That's a start. Do you and but basically they have to have social skills coming into it. We do testing on our office personnel, but
Oh yeah.
it's like different skill sets, like different tests to are they, socially compatible? Are they is this the kind of job that they should want to do and whatnot? But in truth, it's been a very long time since I've hired anybody. I've got the same crew, uh, and I'll talk about the office, then we can talk about the field. It'll be they're similar in certain ways, but
Is that hold on, sorry. Is that testing a, interview test, or what kind of testing? How are you, assessing their, you know, their language skills, their, personality, that kind of thing?
yeah, all of that. Okay, I guess I'll back up a little bit. Like, we want to hire somebody hypothetically, and it's been at least 5 years since, well, maybe 5. So what you do is you put it out there, with any of these agencies that you're looking for. It's been so long I've forgotten who they are. Plus, I don't do it anyway. But you put it out there that you're looking for somebody, and you describe what you're looking for, who you're looking for, what the salary can be, and what skill set they need to have. Okay, and then you're going to get a lot of responses. At least we always do, like a lot. And so
Sure.
we're very polite. So we always respond to everybody. We say thank you. Uh,
Nice.
we're not, your resume doesn't work out for us or whatever we say. And then let's just say that there's 10 people that stand above the rest that they may be okay. And by the way, if the first batch don't really measure up, none of them do. You don't have to break your heart and hire one of them. No, go and put another at it. Like, wait till you definitely have the potential of what you're looking for.
Yeah.
And then, okay, so let's say there's 10 of them though. So then you do interviews. on the phone with those people, and you can hear. And so probably half of them are going to go away just because they just don't have the skill set you're looking
Own
for,
skills, yeah,
good communication skills. And you can
right.
also often tell emotional issues just by, at least we can, or I can. Okay, and so you'll come down to, like, let's say there's 3 people left, and what they can do is come into the office and do testing, an IQ test, a skill set test. Like, let's say that you're hiring someone and you want them to be able to uh, do work on the computer. Well, how are they at Microsoft? How are they at WordPress or whatever it is that you feel like you need?
Right.
And typing speed, that's a good one. And
Yeah.
so we do all of that, or at least we do when we need to hire someone. So then you get somebody, and let's just say that's enough to convince you that this person's good. Yeah, try look at their record too. Where have they been? What have they done? And if let's say they got out of high school in, let's say, 2020, let's just say, and now it's 2026, and they've had 11 jobs. Well, guess what? Like, they're gonna have a 12th one pretty soon.
Future ex-employee, yeah,
Yeah, so, there's a lot to learn, but just don't settle. Like, you don't need to settle for office people very much, because there's so many people in high schools that are just taught to get little menial jobs, and some of them are very bright people, and
yeah,
you can turn them into fantastic employees.
absolutely.
We started eventually, looking for college-educated people, because our company is a little more sophisticated now. But many of my office workers didn't go to college, because but they're great now.
Yeah,
They learned on the job. Uh,
right.
there's actually a Yeah, we're contracting here. We're not like, a multi-story building insurance company that you're working your way up the corporate ladder. It's definitely, at least not my company. We're doing, I'll call it $5 million a year. Companies don't need that level of
Right. But
expertise.
you do want the good personality, good language skills. Doesn't have to go to college for that, of course. You can have that out of, whatever, uh, not even out of high school.
The main thing about college is it qualifies them as people that are willing to put their nose to the grindstone and
Right,
make it happen. That's actually the main thing. It's not actually what they learn,
right.
because what they learn in a in an educational system of college is not pretty much what contractors need in their office.
Agreed, agreed. It's voluntary discipline, right? Or I would say, sports, if they played and organized sports at a high school level or something.
Mhm,
That would be that same kind of person, dedicated, used to hard work, practice, all these things, we don't really wanna do, but we realize they make for a better game or better output,
mhm.
right?
Yeah. So, anyway, that's the part about hiring them. Essentially, you eventually, and of course, you should have legal stuff set up, like a hiring contract and
Right.
an employee handbook and all these things. Especially in California, you gotta be really good at this.
Too many lawyers on the wrong side of the law.
Well, even on the right side of the law, there. Okay,
Yeah.
so
Use yeah,
with that understood, now here's the big deal. You finally get somebody. Well, the last thing you wanna do is for them to go away. Now, it often it takes like 2 or even 3 years to get someone to be fully in sync with what's going on with the company. And of
yeah,
course, the company's changed in the last 3 years while
right.
they've been working, and now they're, like, way on board. They're a team member, and they get along with everybody. So, the next big secret is, first you gotta be successful, gotta have money coming into the office. Okay, sorry about that, but you do. Once you do, you give a whole lot of it to your employees. Like, I have a system where I've explained it to them. Look, I'm the owner, so I get a third of the profit after all expenses, and, my book goes into how to figure that out. Then I want a third of what's left over as the owner. But then I need a third, the company needs a third to expand, to handle any emergencies or whatever, so that
Right,
that leaves a third, and you guys in the office, you get that third.
right.
And, like, we have some every quarter, that's every 13 weeks. uh, they get like $5,000, every single one of them. Or like maybe one time I was thinking it was 8,800 or something. Like it's not always that, of course, but think about that because and you pay them well. You pay them if you want to. Like I start my guys off. Whatever the base salary is of a new person that joins the FBI, it turns out that that's what I pay guys to start. And then they get a bonus. And like if it's 5,000 average, that's a $20,000 on top of,
Right.
you know, let me put it this way. I don't have any hourly wage people unless they're the first year, maybe, but after that, they're all on salary. But to do that, you have to have at least double what minimum wage is. I mean, these guys are all making.
Oh, yeah.
I've got six-figure income people working in as
Definitely.
you know,
Definitely.
now, and then they have been totally trained for years and years to do certain things, answer the phone a certain way, talk to customers, handle, the businesses that come, whatever they do. Um,
Mm.
here's the dirty little secret. So they're incredibly well trained and they fit like a glove in my company and they get paid super, super well. So first of all, they would think I'd be nuts to quit. I'm here to make money and I'm making more money than I could ever
Right.
assume I could make. And then the second thing, it's hard but true fact, they can't go anywhere else and get
The
anything
same.
like the money they're making because,
Exactly.
they're not multifaceted business executives, you know what I mean? So
Right. They have one. Yep. One
right,
skill
yeah,
set.
right. So, not that that's bad as long as they're connected to a company that stays in business and they make quite good more income than they would expect to get at their end of a 40-year career with just a regular job. And I like it when people buy houses. My guys buy houses in
Yep.
LA. It's
Right. Where a fixer upper costs 1.2 million.
yeah, something like that, so it
Yeah.
and we managed to do all of that by being friendly and happy with each other. I think the morale is pretty high, and I try to treat people well. I think I do a decent job of it, and no complaints. I mean, we have one Christmas party, every year somewhere, and just I'm not skillful at anything. I think, Mark, I've tried to tell you this many times. I'm just a guy who never himself went to college, who never I could not even I was unhirable. I had to start my own company really to just
Well,
so
persistence, right? So persistence and the desire to keep growing, keep learning, uh, make mistakes, keep going.
yeah, incompetence is one of my best things.
Yeah.
I'm really good at it, but I'm also very good at learning, as you just said, from mistakes, like owning them. Like I think I've probably said something like this. If you go on a vacation and you leave your front door unlocked, and don't be, somebody came in and stole everything. Where were the police? Why didn't they handle this? Why, how about you take the responsibility and
Exactly.
keep your door locked? And, almost always that is going to open the door to handling. Like you've got to always, when you have a problem, like ran out of gas, car broke down, uh, customer wasn't home, customer didn't pay you because they left before you were like whatever the issues are, you can't blame anybody. You got to say, what can I do so this does not happen again? If,
Exactly.
if you own every single thing, see that allows you to it opens up the door to a solution. To say that
Right.
criminal's bad because they stole from me,
Right.
the next time it'll still be a bad criminal stealing from you.
Right.
If you say I shouldn't go out, like, and get mugged at 2 in the morning in a bad part of town, maybe I won't walk there next time. That's taking responsibility for
Right.
that, so
Yeah, I like it. So, and in there was implied, and you stated it a few times, was being on a great relationship. First as a mentor, and then over time you're getting a little closer with your employees. The days of ruling with an iron fist. There's still a lot of these kind of people. Sorry, um, you know, don't go down that road.
yeah, it's you gotta be honest and, ethical yourself to make all of this work. There's a whole other pattern where you can threaten employees and make them so upset that they can't even think that they're worth looking for another job. You can find bad ways to do stuff, and there are plenty of it's all about the person. It all comes from the top. It's a trickle down.
Exactly.
I'm a guy, I admit I'm ignorant about many things, and I like other people to do well. All those kind of things trickles down, but I've seen companies that, you know, the the employees are terrified of the people above them, and those people are terrified of the boss, and it
Horrible. Yeah.
it's like live a life that's a little more cheerful than that.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, so that's the office people. In the field, the way it happens is
Mhm.
it's really hard to find a qualified tradesman. So
Yep.
what we fortunately, I've got enough years into it that I found one really good guy, and then he had a helper, but you see, helpers turn into journeymen if you hire the right helper. It's
Right.
just the absolute key. Like, you get a guy that's not very good with his or her hands, and they come up late, and they do this and they do that. Like, you know what? You don't wanna spend 3 or 4 years teaching them when you can get somebody that's bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and smart, and you want just like office people, you want really qualified people, that you want them smart, you want them to have a good character, be honest, and, relatively cheerful about life and stuff. And relatively young, like, you don't wanna hire a helper that's 90 years old. You want the guys that are willing to crawl through attics because 'cause they're still thin.
I'm not gonna get the job. What do you say? What do you say, man?
Yeah, like, there's a place for everybody, and,
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
I mean,
Appreciate that.
I've got I'm old now. I'm 71, and I've got several people in my office that have stuck. I have people that have been there for over 20 years,
Yeah,
and
that's
so,
good.
yeah, everybody's older, but we're all good at what we do,
Right.
and it's a little too late to hire someone who's 50 as a helper out in the field. They just don't have the
Yes.
physical.
Yeah.
But anyway, you find good helpers, and then you turn your helpers, you grow them into journeymen, and that, with one exception, one time in all the years I've been in business was it different, where we finally paid money for one of these employment agencies, and we paid them like, wow, I was like, a lot, 10,000 or $15,000, but we got a journeyman, and he's been with us now for 7 or 8 years.
Oh, no.
One time. So I don't think that was kind of like a fluke, to do
He
that.
was already a skilled journeyman.
Yeah, uh-huh,
Yeah.
and but he also fit in with the way our company works, and so,
Right.
uh, mostly to hire people, you find friends or relatives of the people that are already working in the field. That's been our success. I'm
Ni
not saying it's great. I've seen people on your podcast before that are $25 million this week, or whatever they are, and
Right.
they're way impressive, and they're way smarter, and they know what they're doing, and they have opportunities, and you gotta have a company that can attract the right tradesmen, and those are the companies that pay well. You gotta pay them well, and you gotta have consistent work.
Yeah.
Those are
Hey, well, treat
well,
them well. Um, and with your bonuses and profit sharing, it's like, what did Tommy Mello would say, let their dream has to fit in your dream. Like, they have to be able to grow and achieve what they want, like you're saying, buying a house in Los Angeles or wherever. Um, so these are their dreams, right? Where we all wanna well, not all of us, but if I can categorize, we all wanna have a family, buy a house, grow old, save for retirement, so on and so forth. So that's all gotta fit within working for you.
yeah, the way I look at it is I have to have a game. I have a game. And I kinda succeeded in a sense. Like, I wanted financial freedom. I'm not, like, independently wealthy. I'm what is it? Maybe I am. Financially free. I just don't have to worry about money. I don't have to earn money anymore.
Yeah, your
So
money can make money.
right.
Keep you
So, that was my goal, and it took a long, long time to get there, but on
Sure.
top of that, I wanted to have health, I wanted a happy family, I wanted a nice place to live, I wanted certain things, okay? And I wanted to do it by exchanging my skill set with other people to help them. Like, the customers that call in, being an electrician, they call in for electrical work, and We put in some recessed lighting for somebody at their house. We rewire an entire apartment complex before the city shuts them down. Like, we do things that the owners of these places say, "Thank you." Like,
Right.
"We gave you money, you gave us the product we wanted," and I say to them, "Thank you, you gave me money which buys the products I want in my."
Right. Right.
Like,
Right.
you it's not what's known as a zero-sum game, which is only one person wins.
Right.
There
Exactly.
are a lot of contractors that are zero-sum game people, like, they try to do the cheapest work they can and get
Yeah.
away with stuff and cheat their employees, and, it's
Yeah.
tough, you know? You wanna have a mutually beneficial thing going on, which is what I do. But so my thing is I have a game. My game is to do what I said, like have this company and it helps people and it get exchanges for money and all that. And then people come along, their game from my point of view professionally isn't as much. Like they just say, look, I just want to come to work. I want to work for 8 hours and I want to go home and I want to drink a beer and watch some TV. Okay, well, that's their game and their game fits within my game. See,
Exactly.
anybody that wants to work in my company, I have to have a big enough game for their game to be encompassed in that, so every
Exactly.
employee has a different game, every one of them. But,
Right.
they all the ones that fit are the ones that are still there. I've gone through a lot of employees over 45 years,
Yeah.
so
I imagine. Yes. You have a common theme I've noticed through all the guys and women that I've interviewed is that they prefer to hire that helper who works with their journeyman or master and train them on your way of doing things, your processes, rather than hire that journeyman, like you were saying. Um, Now, both can work, of course, but it seems to be a common theme that people that I don't want to untrain you and then train you in my way. I'd rather just take you as a greenie and train you along the way in our processes. Do you agree with that, or what do you think?
well, I think journeyman, uh, they have to we have an admin system, where they have to learn the admin system. They have to learn how we operate and, that part's true. And that's the cool thing about helpers. They show up with a journeyman and they have a couple of years to learn the whole admin system because every day they're watching the journeyman do that.
Use right.
But if you're gonna hire a journeyman, they need to know a lot about electrical in my case, or plumbing or roofing. They need to know the basics and really most of the basics are gonna be the same in any company. When electricians need to know, that amps times volts equals watts. They gotta know that, and
Mhm.
and so there's a lot. If they're gonna be hired as a journeyman, they better be a journeyman. And my problem isn't that they don't know the system, our system of admin, so to speak, and how to do stuff on their smartphone related to billing or something. That has to be learned for sure. Okay. But if they don't know, mostly they don't know. They think they're journeymen. They think they're
I
really good. They think they're great, and they're not. Like it's amazing how uh, 20% of journeymen that think they're journeymen really are journeymen. That's all I can say. I don't know why that is. Of course, I'm not
wow.
a union guy, so it's pretty likely that commercial or industrial union electricians are very knowledgeable, way past what I do. I don't do industrial stuff. They know I couldn't even work as a journeyman in that arena, But in terms of what we do, which is a lot of redo of residentials, commercial that's already been built and whatnot. Yeah, it's about 20% of the people that claim that they know how to do it really know.
Wow.
So,
That's
but our helpers know more within a year than almost any journeyman that applies.
crazy.
Yeah.
1 out of 5. That's
Oh,
that's pretty bad.
right. So then how do we keep our journeymen? Okay. Well, first, don't do things that are so annoying that they quit. Just they don't even care about the money after a while. They couldn't stand the admin, or they hate the fact that, like, they were supposed to go to a certain job and they wake up and now they're not there, or
Uh,
you got to have an environment that works for them.
yes.
And so, like, we have really nice trucks, really well stocked, I mean, really nice. They're all Mercedes, and they got, like, ladders that you
The tall.
you can lift down. You can have, like, these special lifts for the ladders and just on and on about how and then we don't even have them come to the office. We say, "Yeah, park it at your house," and just
Nice.
wake up and go to the job and then come back to your house. There's 0 like, that saves about an hour and a half a day.
Yeah,
And they like stuff like that. They like to earn money when they're working, not
right.
drive around and drink coffee in a shop somewhere, and so we
They
try
kind of feel like their own boss, sort of, probably,
very much so.
yeah,
Yeah, in a minute, I'll mention that. So they first of all, they have a good work environment, and second of all, they make a crap load of money. I mean, that's
yeah.
and yet we don't charge. We may charge more like 10% more than another
That
contractor, maybe.
okay,
Okay, but we have clients that are happy to pay that 10% because of the number of people in the office that service them and answer their questions
right,
and. So
right,
the exchange is there, but we're working on the upper echelon of clients that way.
yeah,
And so the electricians, again, they got six-figure incomes coming in. I mean, they're not like $500,000 a year, but
yeah,
they've crossed that six-figure line anyway, and they
yeah,
buying houses, they have families because 'cause they're honest and ethical, or they wouldn't be in my company, and that means they have stable family lives pretty much, and
right,
kids. And by the time they have kids, it's a career for them. They're just like
yeah,
and they get so good, like, you can't imagine when an electrician's been doing the same kind of work for 20 years, how amazingly good they are at the things that they do. So they make a lot of money. They like the environment that they're working in, and so they're not gonna wanna quit for that reason. I said I was gonna get back to something, but I forgot what it was. Did you just
um, no, I've lost track too, but they're sharing in profits, so they're incentivized to do
Oh,
great,
yeah. Oh, yeah, pay by production. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
So, like oh, I know what it was. Yeah. So, yes, in a sense, every one of them is like their own project manager.
right,
Every one of them. Like, we'll send them out to a job. The simple one is install an EV car charger or something like that. Now, in the office, I my guys are trained enough, and I have a computer program that the customers fill out forms and stuff first that tells them approximately what it's gonna cost. Actually, exactly what it's gonna cost if they give us the exact right information.
right.
When they say it's 20 feet, we say, "Okay, well, we're gonna call it 25 feet just in case." Get out there and it's 90 feet, like,
Right.
sorry,
Look looked
but
like 20 to me.
we never once every, uh, out of 100 jobs, if our guys go out to jobs, we'll get 99 of them because we've already pretty much told them what it's gonna be, and even when it's way more expensive, we'll say, "Well, yeah, see, 20 feet at $8 a foot is this, 90 feet at $8 a foot is that." Like,
Yeah,
sorry, it's 90 feet.
right,
You know, so there's that, but project managers, they arrange to get their own material to stock the truck with. They talk to the customer. They don't have to really sell them, but they just have to do the admin when they're done, and then they collect money, and then they move on. That's like a service call or like a 3-hour job or whatever. And then
right,
we do a lot of, multi-unit apartment complexes where we're replacing every single sub panel because the insurance companies don't like that brand or something. So and there's like 40 of them. And so 40 of them times 1,050 is a bunch of money.
sweet,
And the journeyman on that job just keeps track of what they do. And that journeyman has a helper, and maybe he has two helpers. And hey, they do 10 panels in a week, they get X amount of dollars. They do 20 panels in a week, they make double.
right,
And in fact, they make way more than double because it's not just their time, the material gets, better spent and whatnot. So,
right,
basically, if they become skillful enough to manage jobs properly, they end up with a lot of money, and they never need to ask me, the owner, I guess, for a raise because I can just say to them, "Look, you made, $2,000 last week. That's great. This guy made $4,000 and he did about the same amount of work,
mm,
like the type of work, but he got twice as much done, or he didn't have to go back for a correction or whatever happened. And so he's making more. Like, and here's why. We've analyzed that what you do is you blah, 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 when you should do da, da, da. Why don't you try that? And then they get better and better at it
right,
until they're making pretty much a lot of money because they become very good project managers of their
Right.
and
Mhm.
they manage the helpers. The helpers are the only people in my company that really work by the hour, and it's like a privilege to get onto this, pay by production system,
Right.
profit sharing. It's really more
Right.
like profit sharing,
Yeah.
and so it usually takes about 2 years, and during that time, we just make sure that they get paid quite nicely as helpers, whatever the going rate is in the city of Los Angeles for that. But they're all looking forward to when they get their own van and now they're the journeyman, they're going to triple their income immediately.
Sweet.
So
Love it.
and then we don't lose them either. Like both the electricians and the office workers, you would ask, how do you keep them? Retention.
Right.
Make them very, very happy and uh, have plenty of income coming in, and that
Yeah.
does the trick.
And you got them. Yeah, exactly. They become more efficient. They become more productive. They make more money.
And then, of course, the customers are loving it, and they'll pay 10% more, which is all that I get, 10% out of my company. Uh,
Mhm.
Everything else is to the people in the company, and they are very, they get so skillful that they're really, really good. It's like this upward spiral of happiness, and then the customers
Yeah.
get really great jobs done really
Yeah.
quickly. And by the way, customers never get mad do if you charge X amount and you get done quickly, they're happy. They're like,
Yeah.
"Wow, these guys are really professional." I remember this one. I had this palm tree when I moved into the neighborhood house that I live in now, and I it's like the lower mountain level of like we're in La Crescenta, which is above Los Angeles, kind of. It's like a higher altitude, so there's a
Mhm.
lot of there's oak trees and there's pine trees, and this is not where I want to see a palm tree. So so there's this giant palm tree. It's like 100 feet tall or something. And
Whoa.
the first thing I did when I moved in is I got a couple bids to cut it down, and it was like I don't know $500 or whatever. This is like 20 years ago, and so the guys come in and they're like 5 of them, and they do this and they climb up and they do this and that, and like 2 hours later, there's no more palm tree there.
Right.
I'm like, "Hey, I just spent $500, which was more like $1,000, like, in 2 hours." You'd think
Right.
I'd be mad. I said, "No, I'm
No.
totally impressed with these guys, and I'm happy to have it done,"
Yeah.
So, so
Yeah.
that
And you saw the process and professionalism. They had their stuff together.
yeah.
You're happy to, you don't wanna be there watching them or worrying about them or for 8 hours, right? So,
Right, like, that's exactly right, and they putz around, they come back the next day because they forgot their chainsaw,
yeah,
whatever they're with yeah, and that's see, when our guys stick around a long time, they get very, very good, so now they even go faster and better and make more money, and the customers are
yeah,
happier, so they refer us more work, and then we have
yeah,
more work to pay more guys to do more money, and, it's kind of an
exactly.
upward.
It just steamrolls from there. That's that, I did one on a book my dad gave me, "Quality is Free" is the title of the book, and I'm gonna greatly simplify it, but do great work, be on time, be friendly, great, fair price, and that's the cheapest way actually to do business. Maybe the most expensive upfront, but it's the cheapest way in the long run because now you're getting repeat business, you're getting referrals, reviews, whatever case studies, whatever you want done is it gets done. Your business grows organically, way faster.
Yeah, and it gets to where promotion I have a whole in the book, we talked about promotion and the expenses of it. It gets to the point where I have to consider promotion, hiring another person just to handle the phone calls coming in to talk to the people. I'm not paying, Google for ads or something. I don't need to do that
Right.
anymore. I just need to handle the customers coming in. It doesn't start like that, but as time goes on, like on our if you looked on our Google, the electric connection Google uh,
Your maps
reviews,
listing.
yeah, like it's like 1 through 5 stars or 5 through 1 stars or something, and 5 stars is like all the way across is like 500 or something, and then there's this little speck on 5. I mean, on 1 star. I was like, it really makes a difference when customers see stuff like that.
Yes.
They
Yeah.
want to call you, and they will look. I have no that's what I use Google for. Just I don't or they see our truck go by, and no customer just frankly calls hardly any will just call. they'll look online and they'll see what your reviews are. So it's pretty critical to have happy customers as you were referring. Yeah.
100%. Yeah, 661 reviews out there, 5.0. Nice
Uh,
job.
yeah, look at the or if you're looking, look at where 1 star. You can, like, hardly even see it, on the
Yeah, there's one little sliver of a yellow a slice of pizza, not even. Yeah, exactly.
and it's important on the reviews, by the way, to always respond if somebody says,
Yeah,
"Great,
100%.
thank you, that's a great review, really appreciate it," or a really bad one is, "Oh, sorry we couldn't help you, but, we
Yeah.
actually," or,
Do not argue. I see that,
uh,
way too often. So you get those one and by the way, people wanna see you have a a couple of bad reviews. Nobody's perfect, as they say. But also that when you have that bad review, how you reply to it is super important. Take it offline. I see so often that the contractor will now argue. It's like, "Hey, Ken, you did blah blah blah, and we didn't guarantee da da da, or whatever."
Mhm.
And man, I'm done. I'm not doing business with you. You're arguing with your customer online. I'm done. Moving on to the next guy.
Yeah, ours says stuff like, "Well, we tried to reach this customer, but they, didn't leave their name. We're not even sure this is our customer. We really couldn't find the job that they're referring to." Uh, or there'd be, every now and then there's one who says, "Oh, yeah, when we had the inspector come out and he found other issues on the other side of your building, we that just wasn't part of our contract." And, we try to like be rationalizing, but occasionally, very occasionally, we'll say, "Oh, yeah, we were late to that job. You're absolutely right about that. We try always hard and did you see our policy about like you get a service call for free, which we gave you because we
Yeah.
were late?"
Oh,
So,
sweet. Yeah, yeah. Just use a good language.
and then because there are people that have told me, I don't even look at the good reviews. I look at the bad reviews.
Exactly. A lot of people will just click on that one right there, that 1 star, and look at how many people, how many
Absolutely.
there are.
And how did you handle them? They wanna know, how did you
E
handle that customer?
exactly. Were
Yeah.
you a pro or and what was their complaint? You can almost tell by the complaint whether it was a Karen or not, right? Um, I feel bad for all the Karens out there in the world who have that name.
We had one of them recently, well, about a couple of years ago that wrote, "Yeah, I took him to the garage to do the work, and he gave me," he kind of like he rolled his eyes. It was like really rude or something. And then, I always investigate these things. And it turned out like we said, "Okay, how far is the EV car charger going to be from the panel?" And is it, panel in the garage?
Right.
Well, the panel's in the garage right about here, and then this goes here. So it's only like 10 feet, no big deal. So we go out there. This is my favorite one of all time. There was no panel in the garage. There's no electrical panel in the garage.
The other side of the house.
Yeah, she was complaining because she goes, "Well, I don't know anything about electricity." Like, "Well, you told us your electrical panel was in the garage." It's kinda most people know what an electrical panel is,
Right.
circuit breaker, and she was really upset that there was nothing there for us to connect to. Oh, man. So we got, like, a one-star review, and we try to be really polite and everything, but, it's one of these ladies, "I've never written a bad review, but these guys are so bad that I thought that," "I know you've never written any review, lady, like, what about the nice reviews too?" Anyway, it's a game to play, and
It is a game to play.
you can
On that note,
you can
do
use
you have
bad
that
reviews. You can use bad reviews to get business.
to your advantage?
Yeah,
Absolutely. That's how you should look at them. Well, first and foremost, taking care of the customer, and then, use it to your advantage for
and
other
we have the luxury of doing good work, like, almost always. If something went
right.
wrong, we'll fix it for free. So,
There you
there's
go.
no way it's really hard to give us a bad review that we don't look good at the end when we reply to it.
Yeah, and that's a common thread, by the way, also of all the people I've interviewed, where their companies are extremely highly rated. That seems to be a company policy is, "Hey, man, we're all about making you happy. So if we did something wrong, we'll be out there, we'll fix it for free."
But we'll never, um submit to someone that says, "If you don't give me this for a cheaper price, I'm gonna give you a bad review."
Yeah, then go ahead. Goodbye.
Yeah, well, we actually if they do give us a bad review, we just write in their response, "We didn't, acquiesce to your threat."
Your blackmail did not
Yeah.
work on with us. Do you, on that note, I just had a bunch of guys come out for painting quotes, and I'm amazed at how many, don't have a lot of reviews, and then when I ask them all, they don't automate it. They have nothing,
Mhm.
they're just hoping a customer will give them a review. So on that note, I know you use ServiceTitan. Have you guys automated that? How do you work it internally in your company?
We actually built our own program
Oh, that's right. I remember you saying that. Yeah,
where every single job we do, half an hour later, they're getting an email asking, "How did we do?"
exactly.
And then
What
we have it all set up 5 stars, and if it's 5 stars, it goes to, like, let's say, Google. If it's 4, 3, 2, or 1, it goes to an email directly to our customer service department, who immediately looks at it and handles whatever it is. And then we often get five-star reviews after that.
nice.
I told them that I was unhappy with a particular thing, and then they came right out and fixed it, 5 stars, you know?
Right, right,
Yeah, you
right.
gotta that's a really important thing. You treasure every single review you can get. We're not fanatical about it, but
Yeah.
yeah, there are guys out there that are. Like, man, they do a job and then they haven't even done the job yet, and they're asking you for
Yes, yeah. Or referrals. I love those sales features. Yeah. Ridiculous. How about you earn it first? Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
But you automate that. So however you're doing that, when the job is done, exactly, half hour, hour later, boom, email and a text goes out. How did we do? And that you can do that two-step like you're doing. Do you sell that to other companies?
Well, we did for a while. I had another company called Happy Contractor, and we were building websites for other contractors around the country, and we also had yeah, it was called Review Generator. It
Have you
was
stopped that, Kim?
yeah, pretty much because there's another company out there that does the same thing, and look, it's
There's lots of 'em.
really time consuming. It really it's not just a review thing. I mean, just anything other than electrical, I have found. Even I had this whole business concept. You build a website and then let's $25 a month, you sort of rent the
Hosting.
website to but at the same time you maintain it and you add something each week and you can do that and we did it and we're still making some money. I mean, residual income is where wealthy people can
Yep.
do that. So we have done it, but what we realized is focusing on electrical, yeah,
Way
1
more
hour, I don't know what 5,000,000 divided by, however many hours in a year is, but it just doesn't it's so much more lucrative to do that than websites.
yeah. Doesn't pencil out. Well, there's a lot of software out there now, and almost every CRM has a review automation feature. So if, listeners out there are using something, find out if your CRM has that and engage. If
Yeah,
not,
do it. It's really important, and always reply
yeah.
nicely and
'Cause
accurately.
like you said earlier, you're not even getting that call until they've already been around the block and looked you up on, all over the internet. So
Mhm.
you're not even gonna earn that phone call for that quote possibility or job possibility unless you have online presence, and which starts with, reviews on whatever, platform you wanna. Google's probably number 1. I don't know about Trustpilot and those. They're all good platforms, but I don't think people look there, you know?
They
Uh,
do, Google and Yelp. Those are the
Google and Yelp, exactly.
2 we
Exactly.
care and Yelp is they're more, what's the word? Discretion th
Yeah,
they're they're much harder to get
they are.
the customers themselves are more picky and but at the same time, they're more detailed and, like, I know Yelps does a lot of restaurants, but also trades. They do a lot of
Yeah, they do it all. What's weird about Yelp, 2 things, right? So, A, they have a policy in their terms of service. You're not allowed to ask for Yelp reviews, which is ridiculous. So you can't really automate that without the endangerment. and endangering your listing on Yelp. And then B, if you do ask people, or if somebody just goes on Yelp and writes a review for your company, if that person is not an active Yelp user, has other reviews on Yelp, does it occasionally at least, then they will just simply bury that review on Yelp. It'll be there in the whatever that page is that where it's not shown, doesn't calculate in your numbers. Um, so don't ask for Yelp reviews unless they're an active Yelp user.
They what Yelp wants you to do is put something like on your website that says, "See us on Yelp." Like, not ask exactly, just say that. And I don't think that's very effective. I don't know what happened with Yelp, but we're actually it's gradually getting more and more contacts from Yelp. We never advertise with them. Truthfully, I advertised one time with them like 20 years ago or 15 years ago, and I'm not making this up. We got less business than
Oh,
when we
yeah.
didn't advertise them. I don't know how that could possibly be true, but now I don't know. We're getting a couple a week
Yeah,
that are
you're probably ranking a little bit better internally on Yelp searches.
in some way. Yeah, it's kind of odd.
Yelp searches are well, they're like Google, right? You get the ads first, but they on Yelp, it's kind of deceptive, in my opinion, on how they're listed. Like you might have 10 ads above the
Oh,
organic.
sure. And even when they go to your own website ad or not ad, but their listing, they have like 3 ads right on top of it,
Right on top.
right above you. Anyway, I kinda wash my hands of Yelp other than I don't mind about every other day, somebody's calling for
Yeah,
we're probably doing $1,000 a week from
just
Yelp.
Yelp.
Well, it's very surprising. I don't even know how it happened. I I'm I'm happy though. And
Right?
they're more just
Organic.
the
Yeah,
customers are more discriminating on Yelp for sure, and
yeah,
you've gotta
yeah, they are.
you
They're
know
without a doubt, without a doubt. But, every company out there needs to have a Yelp listing.
Oh, yeah.
Even yeah, so definitely, because 'cause you'll see companies that don't have a Google list. Well, Google will usually scrape and capture it from somewhere else if the owner has not created a listing, but Yelp does not do that, so you have to initiate the listing on Yelp. Yeah,
Exactly.
crazy, crazy. How about, bilingual? Does that play it's gotta play a factor for you in all your positions or no?
Okay, I've got electricians, a bunch of them are bilingual, Spanish and English,
Yeah, yeah.
with an odd language that never matters thrown in here and there. I
Right, a
know
little
Finnish. Well, good. If a Finnish customer shows up, no, it
exactly.
doesn't speak English. Okay, but and then in the office, I've got like one, just two. I think two that speak Spanish and English. Three
Yeah,
do
good.
that. But I gotta say, we rarely have homeowners that only speak Spanish. It very occasionally can happen, and we can cover that. We do have some property management companies that some of their clients have. A
Mhm.
lot of them we can't help them with some Asian language, like Vietnamese or Chinese or something. We just don't have that. But generally, no. You'd be surprised in LA. You'd think it would be very.
Yeah,
It's not. It's
interesting.
not that important.
Wild, wild.
Yeah.
Well, if your clientele is, of a speaking another language as well, then obviously some of your employees must do it. So if you find your customers are speaking other languages and prefer a second language, make sure your CSRs do as well.
Yeah, and it can also that's a good point. Yeah, I mean, it can help with sales, like, "Oh,
Definitely.
compadre, good," let's
Yeah,
get rid of it. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's not a huge factor, but it is definitely something, and it's not a negative to have someone that can speak more than one language. It's a
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I thought you would have run into it more, so I'm kind of surprised.
I would think so too, but
Yeah.
it's not that big of a deal.
Most people are bilingual who speak Spanish or
I
either
think
language.
the people that hire us are,
Right.
there's we're at a certain level of commerce and affluence and everything, the customers that reach out to us, yeah, they pretty much speak English pretty much.
Yeah, they're bilingual.
Even if
Uh,
you're bilingual, they still yeah, but anyway, it's not that's not a big deal.
gotcha, gotcha. Okay, anything we didn't touch on about employees you'd like to add to that, Kim?
I don't just in everything, finance, employees, banking, like, my attitude is it may seem simplistic, but the golden rule, it works for me every time. Like, just treat people like you would like to be treated. And the another way of looking at that is take the point of view of the people
Mm,
if you want to communicate with them so they can understand you. And if you really can fully understand what a customer wants from you, show up on time, don't drip oil on my driveway,
mm,
deliver what you promised, do a quality job. There's you got to know what your customer wants. In the same way, you got to know what your employees want. You got to know what you want. But and then you try what would you like? I always am asking myself, well, what would I do? Like on this
right,
job, would I want to spend $100,000 if I've got a $5,000 way to solve
right,
it for now? And give the customer both options so that they now have your knowledge with their desires. Like in other words, they they have a goal, they just don't know about electricity. So I can fill in that part and then
right,
they can determine, oh well, I guess with my insurance company, I don't have to do that this year. I can do it next year. I'm with them on that, then
right.
that's what you should do. But they needed my knowledge. So
Yep,
that's kind of our sales technique is we just tell them the facts of so they can make an informed decision and we honor their goals and, quite often their goal is to get the damn job done. But I've seen, oh man, hundreds of thousands of dollars of jobs come in because I've told people, you don't necessarily have to do this now,
right,
blah, blah, blah. And somehow that just clicks a little switch for certain people where they say,
definitely.
"Well, you know what? Like, let's do it."
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Here's your options now, temporary fix versus permanent, good, better, best. Just giving the options to the customer.
Yeah, the
Let
good, better, best thing is interesting. If you do it with a pure heart, it's a good thing.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Wherever it applies, exactly. Yeah, there's all kinds of tricks out there, I guess.
Yeah. I deliberately don't have my electricians go to special sales
Yeah,
technique schools and stuff like that. I like to keep them just plain and honest and just do the job they're there to do, and it's worked out really well for me that way.
do they go or do you or, like, when a supplier comes out or do suppliers have classes occasionally, right? New equipment or whatever? Is that a thing in your industry at all or not really?
Well, in our industry, yes, like if we're wiring up a nuclear power plant, but we're not, and so and not so much. Like we stay abreast of, all the everything from like 20 years ago. It's gone. There's still light switches, but now, there's cell phones to control everything and there's
Oh, yeah,
doorbells that look at people and
yeah,
you know, all you just sort of gradually learn it as you go.
I
Uh,
see.
and there have been a little training, not directly from my company, but just from learning on the job. Oh, read instructions. It's a brand new thing. And now we know about that. Like someone just told me about a smart switch yesterday. A
Ah,
smart switch? What's a smart switch? And apparently, no, a circuit breaker, a smart circuit breaker. And I'm somehow with your smartphone, you can turn off a circuit breaker.
wow.
Like, which is fine. But I was trying to explain to this lady, like, why would you want to? Like, I don't
Yeah.
understand why.
Why would you? Get a
Yeah.
house fire, okay, turn off the main breaker, I guess. Oh,
Yeah. Well, she was a landlord, had four units. And I was saying, well, you're going to have 4 meters and your tenants are going to pay the bill. So, like, you don't really have to worry about what they're going to spend. Like, they're the ones she had some kind of weird idea. But the point is, if we ever installed a smart circuit breaker, there'd be instructions right there the first time. and a
Gotcha.
lot of these systems come and go, so we just sort of have learned we learn on the job, and it's like thermostats have completely changed, you know?
Everybody's upgrading. So, that's a good thing, like smart, or a good question. How much of business is smart business? Lighting, HVAC, thermostats, like you're saying. Do you guys get involved in the HVAC thermostats or that's
No, we kinda stay away
yeah.
'cause it's an HVAC thing. We know how to take 4 wires and connect them, you know?
Yeah.
But still, it yeah.
It's
Oh,
their thing. But
yeah.
do you get a lot of smart home, any kind of,
Well, not you know, it used to be the system called X10, and then it kind of fell apart. It's really simple to do it now. Like, if they wanna have, like, let's say, 3 lights, 3 switches for the same light or something in 3 different rooms, we can you just put in a module that has a frequency that does it, and
oh, wow.
so we learned that. We learned that, I don't know, 10 years ago, and it doesn't take a long time to learn this stuff, but no, we're not like a specialist in, uh, low carbon usage of a house, like
Yeah.
although I'm gonna talk to a guy tomorrow about it. I think he's gonna give me a lot of business, actually.
Low
He
carbon usage?
Yeah, they wanna get rid of, gas heating and they
Uh-huh.
wanna use electric and stuff, and they need an electrician to do their
Very
installations for 'em and whatnot.
nice. Apartment building or
Uh, that's what they are focused on, yeah, apartment buildings.
great. Yeah, and that was a lesson, in an earlier episode for the listeners out there was, Kim spent a lot of time, uh, focusing on referral partners and bigger customers like that. So yeah. Well, you wanna close with a word on that at all, Kim?
Well, yeah, like, if you're gonna promote, try to find the least expensive way to get the most business, and the best way, although most people won't do it, is do cold calls backed up with a website that has a specific page for whatever you're promoting. Like if it's, let's say, property management company, you make a whole page on your website about property management, how great you are, have some referrals
Sure.
on there and some other stuff. Then you find a list that of all the property management companies near you, and then you literally this is where you gotta pay your dues. You just start making phone calls and, "Well, who would be the person to talk to? Oh, here's their email." Then you send them an email and like, there's a little system, and
Right.
it's really slow. Like a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks can go by, nothing happens. Like, let's say you only make 10 calls a day, but still, like 30, 40 calls later, finally something happens, but what it is from, like, 2 months ago when you were doing it, somebody now needs something.
Exactly.
But the thing is, that's now I've done it enough where I'm talking millions of dollars on certain clients that have
Yeah,
like property management companies that own, like, 40 buildings,
right.
and then suddenly they have to do something in all 40 of those buildings, and, you've done some service calls with them and done a good job and never raised your prices when you could have and all that. So they like you. All of a sudden, you have a lot of work.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so
It
you wanna try to go with people that you're doing them a favor when you do them a job. Like, like, if you're yeah, a simple one is a general contractor needs a plumber, they need a roofer, they need a framer, they need an electrician, and so if you've done a really good job for them, you're doing them a favor by doing the next job for them. They don't have to go looking for somebody else, they can trust you, they can do this. Same with property management companies, like, if you do a
right.
good job with their tenants and do good work, then they have a problem. A tenant calls, "My lights aren't working." Well, guess what? They can call my company
Yeah,
because they trust me, and how much did I spend to get that job? Nothing. Like, all we had to do is schedule it.
right.
But
Yeah,
it takes some effort to get to that point, but
it
it's a
does.
good way to go. Find Oh, yeah, there's one down and dirty way, it's in the book too, a cheap way is home warranty companies. Like,
Oh, yeah,
this is a really for anyone out there that's just starting out and really wants some work and it just is willing to work hard and put up with some crap, probably, what you do is you go to home warranty companies. I forgot what they're all called now, but you can look it up in Google and just they have to service all of their clients. Their clients are people that bought a house last year and they got a year worth of free, whatever warranty on all the different trades
Right.
in the house. And so if something goes wrong, they want the cheapest electrician or plumber possible, but they also want the job done well. And then you got to find the ones that are willing to pay you quickly because some of these home warranty companies are not great.
Mm,
Got to go pay your dues. But suddenly, if you're doing a good job and you got a big enough company, you might have a couple of those a day.
nice. Nice. And realtors
Oh,
could
and you
lead
won't
you.
pay for it, and you're not gonna pay, so you're not gonna advertise except you called them and asked
Right.
them if they need an electrician or a plumber or whatever. So
Right.
you paid with sweat equity. You just paid by a telephone and then sent them and paid your dues time-wise, but then, it could be 5 years that you're getting calls
Yeah.
every day, you know?
Yeah. Should have somebody making referral partner calls a couple of days a week, even if you're already busy, with a nice follow-up system. We do it internally here now too, also, in large part thanks to you.
Oh, really?
Um,
Oh, thank
yeah,
you.
yeah. I mean, I should have been doing that for a long time, but I was pretty content with my little handful of customers, and that's I've been around the block a few times. I was I was happy, but we've retooled a little bit, and yeah, so we do the same. So yeah, it's a lot of calls, a lot of follow up, but as soon as you land a client, like you said, that branches out one to many. Many jobs can come your way to the one client.
For sure, for sure. In
I,
fact, it's one when you're promoting to people like that, find the biggest ones. They find the ones that have a property management company that has 2 buildings, okay. If they have 200 buildings, that's even better, you know?
Yeah, even better. They have a nonstop flow of issues coming their way. Yes.
Yeah. But, of course, the best clients you're ever gonna get are the hardest to get because they're good for a reason, and they're already doing a really nice job with whoever like, let's say, whoever plumber they're using is also not wanting to stop being their plumber. So you got
Right. Exactly. Yeah,
so you
you're in the queue waiting for a mishap.
right, a mishap. Like the plumber overbids a job
Yep.
times, or he doesn't show up, or else they just get big enough and they need another second person, whatever. You got to wait for someone. There's a misfortune happening somewhere along the line to somebody that's not you. If you just keep pressing,
Yeah.
and once you get a really good one, you just got to understand that there's other people wanting to be in your position. So
Yep.
treat them well.
Yeah. And having that landing page is ideal. And I would go one step further. And now there's lots of video testimonial software out there also, just like your review, getting Google or Yelp reviews. So now you can feed your database into that. And if you have video testimonials on that, we're given the property manager landing page example, then you know your conversion rate of people who hit that page will be uh, will be much greater.
Yeah, which I do, by the way, have a whole video of property managers that talk about how great we are. But
See,
I sent a guy out there with a camera to do it, and it took a long time.
nice.
Like now, look at what we're talking. We're talking on electronically. Just get on Zoom or something and just go talk to your clients and record
Yeah.
it.
Oh, you don't even need it anymore. There's literally it'll send them an email or text. They click on it and they'll record it right into their phone. They can re-record if they weren't happy. You can ask them questions like, you know, uh, several questions along the way. You don't want to get carried away. 2 or 3 questions. What was it like working with us? What was the quality of our products or something? How friendly was the tech or whatever you want to ask. And all that's on video. Boom, they hit go, and then most of those will have a embed code that you can just put it right on that landing page. It's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
life is good, and AI is going to completely transform everything in the next 3 years.
Yeah, that too. Whole 'nother topic.
For sure, but at least if you're in the trades, it's gonna be quite a while before, some kind of robot comes out to the house and does the work for you, like an Android isn't gonna be fixing your roof in the near future, but in
No.
terms of the white collar people, wow, it's gonna be big difference very soon.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I heard, of course, AI is definitely gonna replace jobs out there, but I don't remember where I heard this now, but, there's a phrase out there, AI is not gonna replace your job. Somebody who knows how to use AI is gonna replace your job. And that's the more likely case, not for a tech, but for white collar out there. If you don't know how to use it, what are you waiting for? First of all, it's amazing. Um, and B, you gotta know how to use it to be more efficient on your job. Uh, yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
for sure. But it, it's coming. It's big deal. AI,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, it's here. It's here. If you got a lot of web traffic, you should have a web chat down there, AI controlled and booking jobs, answering questions, all that good stuff. If you're
And
paying for traffic, especially if you're paying. So the word to the wise out there, you're not to you, Kim, but if you're paying, and guys are out there paying, 5, 6 figures a month for web traffic, Google ads, and elsewhere. So if you're paying for that traffic to hit your website better be highly efficient at converting those people into jobs,
yeah,
not phone calls, into booked jobs. So you should have a calendar on your site, whatever is required, AI, web chat, all that, convert those people into jobs.
yes, definitely. Like we're in the process of taking our price book that we have and handing it over. Eventually, it'll be AI. The AI is going to talk to every customer and say, "Oh, this. What is this? What about that? What about this? Well, then your price will be this."
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
At midnight. At midnight when we're all sleeping, and
Exactly.
then schedule the job. Yeah.
Exactly. There's quite a few, we've got a good experience with it. So there's a lot of calls that come in at, starting around 6 a.m. until your open time,
Hmm.
and then your close time till about 10 p.m., depending on the service. I'm talking home services now, plumbers, HVAC, roofers, whatever. And man, so many guys are like, "I answer the phone until 10 p.m." It's like, "Why?" And no, you don't, man. You go to dinner, you're working with the kids, whatever. You're not manning your phone 24/7. The biggest fiction I see out there, and so most contractors say, "I want more leads." And then you ask them, "Well, how are you converting your web traffic? What do you do for after hours calls? What do you do for missed calls?" And they have no answers for those things. And so fill those gaps. Those are all the leads. You want more leads, those leads are coming in, but you are missing them. So capture them first, the ones you got coming in,
Yeah.
before you spend money to create more. All right, I'm off
Yeah.
my
I
bandwagon.
guess my final thing for contractors is starting off. It's just starting out. Like, forget all the AI stuff. Forget.
Yeah,
Like, just answer your phone. Okay, just answer your phone. Please
yeah,
answer your phone. If you're busy, don't not answer your phone. Answer your phone anyway. Like, you're busy and you're going to hire somebody. You better have a lot more work for that person to stay employed with you. Answer your phone. Answer
yeah,
your phone every time.
yeah.
Do that. Find
It's
a good
actually
way
the
to.
smaller guy who needs it more, I would argue. Because once you get to your office, like you're a perfect example, you have a complete office answering your phone. What do you guys do after hours, Kim?
Oh well, we have a very little. Like, we have voicemail and emergency calls for some of our best clients.
I got you.
In all honesty, we've been so busy that we can't handle the load of more work. So why spend extra time it's just not doesn't pay to do that.
Got you. You got all the business you can handle right now. But
Oh,
if you were a new guy, year one, 2, 3,
oh,
4,
man.
5,
Then you gotta have I wouldn't could do voicemail. I'd do either and not even a live person anymore. I'd do some kind of AI answering thing.
yeah, one or the other, AI, answering voice or an answering service in your niche. If it's an electrical service answering service or a roofing service
Yeah.
answering.
And a good one. I mean, there's good ones
Yeah,
and good ones. I mean, really.
good point. Good point. Touche. All right, my friend. Any closing comments?
No, Mark, it's been an interesting series. I guess that's oh, and finally, guys, invest your money. Like, if you can't take 10% of what you're bringing in and put it aside for your future, you're not earning enough money yet.
Yeah, good point.
Like
Yeah, make your salary and a profit. There's that profit first out there, but make sure, you're taking what you deem as a good salary and your company is making a profit. Like you're saying, you're taking one third of the profit. Make sure that both things are happening. Otherwise, we would be better working for somebody.
yeah, like I'm kinda set financially, I don't have to worry about money anymore, only because I invested in some of my profit. Like,
Right.
even a surgeon makes, who knows how much money, $500,000 a year. Yeah, and he has a yacht, or he has a boat, and he's got a house and a mansion and a or, it 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 means nothing when he's 75 years old.
Right.
All of that, he spent all those parties, all the the all that's left is what the concrete things that he invested in. And you need to invest or you're gonna end up every week pretty much the way you were the week before that.
Yeah. Yeah. Shame on our education system, actually, not teaching from grade school up what to do with your money. So, yeah, we all spend a lot of time learning how to earn the money and not so much time trying to how to invest it, how to make it grow.
Exactly so.
Yeah.
So
Good,
that yeah.
good
So
advice.
you don't make you make a profit on working hard as a contractor. You become wealthy by investing some of that profit.
There you go. Good, wise words. Kim, always a pleasure, my friend.
Yeah, Mark, thank you very much for interviewing me. Appreciate it.
Thanks for doing the series, man. And hopefully, a lot of people, I've been seeing a lot of views actually, or podcast listeners. We don't get so much YouTube traffic, but good podcast listening. So, and I see your series picking up steam. So, glad to see it. And
That's
hopefully,
right. Yeah, and I don't even pay attention to it 'cause it's not a money thing for me, but I'm seeing Amazon tells me that people are buying my
yeah.
books.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Let's close with that. So, folks, there'll be a link in the description, no matter where you are in the podcast or on YouTube.
Yeah.
Go get a copy of the book and digest it yourself. Kim, again, a million thanks. Thanks to all the listeners out there. Appreciate your time. Know it's valuable, and hopefully, you got some good golden nuggets out of there.
Okay.